Silicone is one of those words everyone confidently uses without actually knowing what it is. It's soft, but not rubber. Flexible, but not plastic. It exists everywhere, yet somehow feels like it was invented 5 minutes ago by a mad scientist who refused to explain himself. I'm Professor Everything, and today we'll be answering the question, what exactly is silicone? Right here on Explaining Everything. Let's clear the biggest mental trap right away. Silicone is not silicon. They sound similar. They look similar when written down, and they absolutely do not behave the same. Silicon is an element. It lives on the periodic table. It's solid, crystalline, and spends most of its time pretending to be a rock. Silicone, meanwhile, is a synthetic material, and it only exists because humans looked at silicon and said, okay, but what if this was bendy? Chemically, silicone is a polymer, meaning it's made of long, repeating chains of molecules. But unlike most polymers, which are carbon-based, silicone's backbone is built from silicon and oxygen atoms. This structure is called a siloxane chain, and it's the reason silicone immediately starts acting like it didn't read the same rule book as other materials. Attached to that backbone are carbon-based side groups, which is where silicone gets its flexibility and personality. So right away, silicone is doing something unusual. It's part inorganic, part organic, and fully committed to confusing everyone. Most materials pick a clear identity. Metals are rigid. Plastics melt. Rubber stretches and eventually gives up. Silicone? Silicone just quietly ignores expectations. The secret lies in the silicon-oxygen bond, which is extremely strong. Stronger than the carbon-carbon bonds found in most plastics. That bond gives silicone impressive stability, meaning it doesn't panic when things heat up, cool down, or exist for long periods of time. At the same time, those long polymer chains are flexible. They move, twist, and bend without snapping. This is why silicone can stretch and bounce back without falling apart like a cheap Halloween prop. What makes this even weirder is that flexibility and durability usually don't coexist. Materials are normally one or the other. This is why silicone feels almost suspiciously calm. While other materials crack, melt, or degrade, silicone remains unchanged, like it's emotionally detached from physical reality. Silicone doesn't occur naturally. This is a fully human invention, which explains why it feels slightly unnatural to touch. In the early 20th century, chemists noticed something interesting. Silicon behaves a lot like carbon. It can form 4 bonds and build complex molecular structures. Naturally, scientists wondered what would happen if they started swapping carbon out and building entirely new frameworks. After a lot of experimentation, they figured out how to create chains made from silicon and oxygen instead. Once they learned how to control the length of those chains and how tightly they linked together, silicone suddenly became incredibly versatile. Short chains behave more like fluids. Long chains behave like solids. Cross-linked chains behave like elastic materials. Same chemistry, wildly different personalities. This is why silicone isn't just one substance. It's a family of materials with the same backbone, but different structures. Think of it less like a single ingredient and more like a character creator screen where someone kept moving sliders just to see what would happen. Let's address the elephant in the room. Silicone feels off. It's smooth but not slippery. Soft but not squishy in the way your brain expects. It doesn't feel cold like metal or warm like rubber. It just exists, quietly defying sensory logic. This comes down to silicone being chemically inert. It doesn't react easily with other substances. It doesn't absorb moisture. It doesn't break down when exposed to normal environmental conditions. Because it doesn't interact much with heat or texture the way other materials do, your brain struggles to categorize it. Your senses are waiting for a familiar response, and silicone refuses to provide one. That's why it feels oddly neutral. Not sticky, not dry, not reactive. Just silicone. A material so stable it almost feels emotionally unavailable. Silicone is a human-made polymer built on a silicon-oxygen backbone that doesn't fit neatly into any category. It exists because chemistry allowed it to exist. And once it did, it quietly broke the rules and stayed anyway. Silicone isn't confusing because it's poorly defined. It's confusing because it's genuinely different. And now, when someone asks you what silicone actually is, you won't hesitate. You'll know that the real answer isn't simple, but it is fascinating. If you learned something new about silicone, don't forget to like, subscribe, and please don't play with it. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.